Welcome, trivia enthusiasts and curious minds, to the podcast that turns your restroom rendezvous into a brain-boosting experience. I'm your host, Matthew Livingstone, and this is Bathroom Break Trivia, the podcast where knowledge meets porcelain. It's time to take a leak and listen. This is episode 215. Today is Famous People Tri-Bond. So I will tell you what type of a character they played, and then I will give you 3 actors or actresses, and then you tell me which character that was. Good luck! Question number 1. It is a fictional character, and they were played by Johnny Lee Miller, Robert Downey Jr., and Henry Cavill. Question number 2. A political figure, played by Martin Sheen, Greg Kinnear, and Patrick Dempsey. Question number 3. A political figure, played by Helen Mirren, Olivia Colman, and Jeanette Charles. Question number 4. A musician, played by Val Kilmer, Bruce Campbell, and Peter Dobson. Question number 5. A political figure, played by Alec Guinness, Ian McKellen, and Martin Wuttke. Question number 6. A political figure, played by Paul Giamatti, Robin Williams, and Alec Baldwin. Question number 7. A political figure, played by John Lithgow, Gary Oldman, and Brian Cox. Question number 8. An actress, played by Anna de Armas, Kelly Garner, and Ashley Judd. Question number 9. A historical figure, played by James Garner, Kurt Russell, and Kevin Costner. And question number 10. A fictional character, played by David Niven, George Lazenby, and Timothy Dalton. Alright, how well do you know your actresses and actors in famous roles? Let's find out. Question number 1. A fictional character, played by Johnny Lee Miller, Robert Downey Jr., and Henry Cavill. And that was Sherlock Holmes. Johnny Lee Miller was in Elementary, Robert Downey Jr. was in the Sherlock Holmes movies in 2009, and Henry Cavill was in the TV show Enola Holmes. Question number 2. A political figure, played by Martin Sheen, Greg Kinnear, and Patrick Dempsey. And that was John F. Kennedy. Martin Sheen was in Kennedy, Greg Kinnear was in The Kennedys, the miniseries, and Patrick Dempsey was in JFK, reckless youth. Question number 3. A political figure, played by Helen Mirren, Olivia Colman, and Jeanette Charles. And that was Queen Elizabeth II. Helen Mirren was in The Crown, Olivia Colman in the Crown TV show, and Jeanette Charles was in The Naked Gun from The Files of Police Squad. She also frequently played the Queen as she looked very similar. Question number 4. A musician played by Val Kilmer, Bruce Campbell, and Peter Dobson. And that is Elvis Presley. Val Kilmer was in True Romance, Bruce Campbell was in Bubba Hotep, and Peter Dobson was in Forrest Gump. Question number 5. A political figure, played by Alec Guinness, Ian McKellen, and Martin Wuttke. And that was Adolf Hitler. Alec Guinness was in Hitler, The Last 10 Days. Ian McKellen was in Countdown to War. And Martin Wuttke was in Inglourious Bastards. Question number 6. A political figure played by Paul Giamatti, Robin Williams, and Alec Baldwin. And that was Theodore Roosevelt. Paul Giamatti was in the Roosevelt's miniseries, Robin Williams in Night at the Museum, and Alec Baldwin in American Experience. Question number 7. A political figure played by John Lithgow, Gary Oldman, and Brian Cox. And that was Winston Churchill. John Lithgow was in The Crown, Gary Oldman was in Darkest Hour, and Brian Cox in Churchill. Question number 8. An actress played by Ana de Armas, Kelly Garner, and Ashley Judd. And that was Marilyn Monroe. Ana de Armas was in Blonde in 2022, Kelly Garner in the miniseries The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe, and Ashley Judd in Norma Jean and Marilyn. Question number 9. A historical figure played by James Garner, Kurt Russell, and Kevin Costner. And that was Wyatt Earp. James Garner was in Hour of the Gun, Kurt Russell in Tombstone, and Kevin Costner in Wyatt Earp. And question number 10. A fictional character played by David Niven, George Lazenby, and Timothy Dalton. And that was James Bond. David Niven played him in the original Casino Royale. George Lazenby was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and Timothy Dalton was in The Living Daylights and Licensed to Kill. The hint for the next episode is we're going to head off with Danny and his gang to try and rob the MGM Grand in Vegas. And that's it for today's episode of Bathroom Break Trivia. How did you do? Don't forget, please leave me a review on your podcatcher of choice. If you want to donate to the project, earn yourself a shout out, have me write a game for you, or if you want to come on the podcast, go check me out at Patreon, patreon.com/bathroombreaktrivia. If you have any suggestions, comments, or want to tell me how you did, please feel free to reach out to me at bathroombreaktrivia@gmail.com, or feel free to join the Facebook group Bathroom Break Trivia. Just search Bathroom Break Trivia, send a request to join, and I'll let you right in. The music you hear on the podcast is Sunshine Whistle by Top Flow and Funky by Grand Project. Both songs come from Pixabay, royalty-free music. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Bathroom Break Trivia, the podcast where knowledge meets porcelain. And until next time, this is your host, Matthew Livingstone, signing off.